Thank you. All right. So what day is it? Today is August 25th, 2021. Hello, everybody. It's your boy, Coach Vic, certified land investor. Glad to be here with you. Today, we're going to talk about something near and dear to all of our hearts, money. All right, cash. Now, I don't really have my wallet with me, but it's assumed I had a lot of money. I'm making it rain for demonstrational purposes. Now, as always, if you can hear me, you can see me okay, let me know whether you're watching this live or you're watching the replay. I just want to know my audio setup is okay, my video setup is okay, because every week Facebook seems to change shit up and I don't know if I'm doing the things the right way. So just, let me know. Either way, why are we talking about money today? Well, it turns out I actually asked a pretty interesting question in my Land Investing for Professional Millennials Facebook group. Now, if you're not a member, because you're watching this on some other platform, then you need to become a member because that's where all that magic happens. Now, all I did was I just said one thing. I just said, hey, read the following out loud. I can turn $500 into $2,500 within a month. I can turn $2,500 into $7,000 in the next month. I can turn $7,000 into $18,000 in the month after that. Now, the reason why I ask that is because a lot of people, they don't understand how powerful land investing can be. And sure, there's other forms of investments that can do similar things if you're good at it. But land investing is very simple to do if you just stick with it, learn the skills, and go through the ups and downs like anything else. Now, the reason why I asked is I just want to see where people's mindset was. I didn't really have a judgment here or there, just trying to feel the pulse of the group. Do people understand this fact that you can multiply your money in a short amount of time if done properly? Or do people still think it's one of those get rich quick schemes that I'm just talking about so I can take people's money? Yes, I do coach people, and yes, people do pay me for that coaching, but newsflash, the majority of my income comes from land investing. I don't coach that many people. I don't put a ton of time into finding new people to coach. I put this information out there just to help you guys out. And, me putting my thoughts on paper, so to speak, helps me out as well. Those who want to learn about this stuff and who are serious about it, I put all of my time, effort, and energy in helping you guys or those people in my land investing group, the Land Investing All-Stars, learn stuff too. But in general, I do my thing and I just kind of tell the group about it and I help them go through their deals, their ups and downs. When they bring things to me like, hey, what's going on here? Or how can I fix this? Or what does this mean? Yeah, I can give them my advice. I can give them expertise. I can point them to things that if I don't know the answer, I'm like, hey, check this out. This may help you. But in general, I don't make my money coaching. So when I was asking that question, I got a range of answers and I thought it was very interesting. Some people, you were very optimistic. Some were very pessimistic. Some thought I was doing a sales pitch for some reason. I just thought it was cool. I'm like, okay, great. I'm just glad people are responding and they're actually engaging with the stuff. But here's the thing. I realized a lot of people don't understand the money in this business, not just the big numbers that people like to flash to kind of get people interested in land investing. Those shiny object seekers looking for the next dopamine hit, hoping that this would be their ticket to be easy riches and they don't got to do any work and they can live a laptop lifestyle on the beach. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like, what does it take to run a land investing business? What is it? What type of numbers are people seeing? What do they do with that money? And what type of things can people need to watch out for? Now, obviously, I teach this in my stuff, but I haven't shared this information. And yesterday, or actually lately, I've been going through a lot of numbers. So I don't know if you can see this. These are different numbers that I've been running for my own personal business. And as you may know, I put myself in a lot of debt in 2019. I've been climbing out of it. And things are going pretty well, but I want to make even more progress and I want to make it quicker. And when I was running my numbers, I ran into something that kind of shocked me. And I'll get into that in a moment. So just stick with me. So let's start from the beginning. All right. The lure of land investing is taking your money, a small amount of money, and multiplying it quickly. Right. So $500 to $2,500, right? If you look at the return on investment percentage, whether it's like 500%, or something crazy like that, great. That's normal for, at least for me, with these smallest amounts of deals. Put a $500 in, 600, 800, 1,000, sell for 2,500, 3,000, 4,000, etc. Right? Pretty standard stuff for me. And for most people, it's pretty standard stuff, the infill lots and things of that nature. Now, the same types of numbers and percentages, they do basically hold up as you go up the food chain. But after a certain point, you're not going to be making 500%. You might just be doubling your money, making 80% of your money, et cetera. The beautiful thing is you're not waiting 4 or 5 years for these returns. You're waiting 4 or 5 months at the most if you're really, if you're not really good at what you do. Then if you are good at what you do, cup 2-3 months, it is what it is. All right. So that's the allure. Now, a lot of people get into this business thinking, oh, all I need is $500 and I'm good. No, newsflash. There's more to it than just actually buying the property. What kind of expenses can you expect? Well, looking at myself, I use PropStream to find property. Now, I know PropStream is very low on the totem pole of research for real estate and things like that. It's only $97 a month. But for my purposes, it works pretty well. I have my own software that I've created that I feed with the list from PropStream. So I don't necessarily need more information. Not that it's bad. I don't know. I do the work myself and I kind of enjoy that part. Now, if you don't enjoy the work or you don't want to do it yourself or you can't write your own software, which is like what most people in this business, I would say 99.99. I'm probably the one person that writes their own software now that I think about it. Then there's better alternatives out there than PropStream, but they cost more. I actually am a part of a mastermind that my boy Clint runs. He actually is a really good mastermind. I learned a lot from that. It's good to also see other land investors doing what they do. Some of you guys who are watching this are probably part of that mastermind. It's good stuff. Highly recommend it. So I pay for that. I got my accountant. I pay for my internet. I pay for my Lands of America account. And I have a Ring Central phone line. So every month I'm paying about $1,200 just in those expenses. Now, you don't have to do a lot of those things. You can actually do a lot less. A lot of the things that I do are unnecessary. It's just the way I like to work. But here's the thing. I just talked about the expenses without even talking about the real parts of the business, like sending out mailers, money for advertising, money for other things. So that's just $1,200 for me. If you're just going to look at the bare basics, so depending on how many mailers you send out or text messages, you can be spending anywhere from $100 to $1,000 a month. Again, depending on the context that you want. If once you do find a property that you want to buy, you might have to pay some back taxes. You may have to pay some HOA fees. You're definitely going to have to pay some type of money for closing costs, meaning to get the deal done. I'm not talking about using a title company. But if you do a title company, then yeah, you have closing costs. But if you don't, like I don't, at least for the most of my deals, I have to pay to send out a check to them. I have to pay to send a deed to them. I got to pay to get that deed returned ASAP. I got to pay recording costs. I got to pay different different little fees here and there for like just getting business done. So of course I'm gonna need more than the $500 that I need just to purchase a property, or the $1,000 or the $2,000 or whatever it is. There's always other costs associated with it. So that already dashes a lot of people's dreams. They think, oh, I got $500. I can find some property on my own. Yeah, you can. And that's what I did. But it's going to cost more than that just to actually facilitate the deal. Write this down because this is very important. Now, after you acquire the property, you paid your $500 or whatever it was for the property. You paid your $200 in expenses to get the property into your name, facilitate the deal and all that. You're going to have to advertise. Now, for most cases, you can advertise for free on Zillow and Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace. But when you actually want to sell faster, or you just want to be more organized, you're going to spend a little money. Maybe you're sending neighbor letters. Maybe you're actually paying for a Land Watch or Lands of America account. Maybe you're doing your own paid traffic from Facebook or Google or YouTube. These things cost money. Now, if you want to sit on property all day, that's fine, right? Now, with that said, you see the reality, because you know you got to spend money to do more than just buy property. Most newbies in this business, guess what? They don't make a lot of money. And here's why. They're buying these properties that they feel are attainable and accessible. The ones that for like in New Mexico that are just desert that you can't do nothing with. No water, you're not allowed to drill on them. You have to have at least an acre inside before you can build on them. You know, things that are just so restrictive. And so these people buy them. Yeah, you buy it for $400, $300, and you're thinking you can sell for $5,000, but you can't because you haven't spent any money to actually make the property desirable, or you didn't buy a property that's desirable in the first place. So basically, a lot of people, when they first get in this business, they don't make a lot of money. They hold on to property for a long time. They're playing, I don't think, sometimes for years, so they're paying property tax. Now, to be fair, property tax for a lot of these vacant lots is like $30 a year. It's not a lot, but they're holding on and they're not making anything. So they got to keep feeding the business with their 9-to-5 job. Well, many of us get into this and other businesses like it, so they don't have to work a 9-to-5 job if they choose not to. Well, obviously, this ain't the way. So how do they actually level up? Well, some people pay for coaching. Some people just give up. Well, a lot of people just give up. Other people, they have a background in sales and marketing or whatever, or they've done something else business related. So they understand that comes with the territory. So they understand how to kind of maneuver around that and get better. But as they get more advanced, they start making more money. But it's still taking them a while because they're doing things in a slower way. A lot of people aren't looking for cash sales, at least in my experience, just kind of looking at the landscape. Sure, they'll take it, but they always like to cater to the lowest common denominator, low down payments, low monthly payments. Okay, now they get that passive income. Great, nothing wrong with that, but the business still isn't feeding itself yet. Unless you're getting, down payments of $2,000 or $5,000, just something sizable, you don't have any money to actually spend on more property, let alone the expenses that I talked about to actually get more property up. Oh, I forgot about other stuff like having your own website and your own phone number and all that. But anyway, this is a different thing. So again, more people are spending more and more money feeding their business with their job money until they get enough lots that their passive income, so basically the monthly payments that they get can actually pay for, property going forward. But that's still not enough to help people quit their job. It's now the business is sustaining itself. It's not actually paying out. So a lot of good land investors from there, they start to level up. They start to see these problems. They start to level up. Don't worry, we're going to get to numbers pretty soon. And they start making good money. They're looking for more cash deals. They're being more savvy with their money. They're getting better at negotiating lower prices to purchase and selling at higher prices, all these good things. But then you get to a point where I was last year and most of this year where I'm treading water. What do I mean by treading water? Well, I want you to think about this. Let's say you sell a property for just $10,000, okay? Let's not worry about how much you got it for. You sell it for $10,000. Let's say that more property like that's available and you're probably going to be paying between 3 to 5 to get it. Now you got to do a mailer. You put those offers out there. So that's going to cost money. You got to actually pay, buy property, things we discussed earlier. That's going to cost money. Let's say it costs $4,000, right? When you are doing that $10,000 is now $4,000. So you have $6,000. Now you have maybe $1,000 for mailers, maybe $500. So now you're back at $5,000. Now, if you like, okay, cool. You got the property, you got $5,000 still in the bank. You can, take that 4 or whatever, make it to another 10. Sounds good, right? But let's just say you're using this money to pay for your bills. You got rent or a mortgage. You got to feed yourself. You might have a little fun with your money. Maybe you have kids. You also got the other expenses I was talking about earlier, just running a business of not just, acquiring a property, but your internet, your phone, your website hosting, different website memberships. Maybe you're part of a mastermind or two, whatever it is. So that $5,000 shrinks to $4,000, $3,000. Okay, $3,000 is still left. You sell the property for 10, maybe 9 to get it sold quickly. Now you're back at 10 or 11, maybe $12,000. Wash, rinse, repeat. You see how you kind of tread water a bit? You may have went to 10, you started at 10, you went down to like 3, doing that, you sold, total amounts in the, you sold, you also have to pay mortgage expenses or whatever. You're down to very little, but you had that property that you purchased, and then you go back to 10 or 11, maybe you're at 12, and you keep doing it. So you're not really leveling up. You might gain 1,000 here, 1,000 there, but if you don't sell right away, so let's say in June, you just don't sell just because you're getting interest, it's just not enough to sell, or it took a while to get that next property in because the person you're buying from, they were just dragging their feet, or there was just complications you weren't aware of that made the deal take longer. And next thing you know, you're out of money. But you sell, now you're back at 10. Do you see the process that I'm talking about? You guys see the money that I'm talking about? Say yes or no. Write it out in the comments. Let me know if you understand what I'm talking about. All right. So this is what has happened. I saw notice what happened to me. I was making good money, but I needed that money to pay bills. I needed that money for other things. I needed that money to pay down debts. And then, so I wasn't necessarily having the amount of money I would want to get bigger and better, or just more properties that would sell for $10,000, $12,000, $15,000 until I had to make a couple of changes. First off, my money management was shit, meaning I wasn't very aware of exactly how much money should be going to what. I was just doing what I needed to do to get by. And that's okay because I was making it, but I wasn't in position to actually advance myself. I stopped investing in other forms of things like, different stocks and things of that nature because I wasn't paying attention to my money. It'll go up, it'll be gone, it'll become, and it'll be gone. It'll become, it'll come. It was going in and out. Sure, that's great if that's all I want to do, but I'm trying to level up. So looking at my paper here, it seems that I'm going to need a lot more than I'm bringing in. But what's the plan? Well, if you keep just taking your own money and you multiply it a little bit, it works okay. That works pretty good. But if you're trying to level up, you're going to need more to just level the money that you have. Now you got to start getting money from other people, OPM, other people's money. So I already talked to you guys about using investors. Investors can be a great way to leverage their money to start to get the volume and velocity that you need. Another thing that a lot of people don't think about is actually selling other things to the leads that come in that are looking to buy the properties that you had available. Things that they will need. Things like, I don't know, if they're off-gridder, they might need a solar setup, get some solar panels and a battery. If they are trying to do their own thing, maybe set them up with like a water system, things like that. Maybe you're an affiliate for Boxable. Boxable, they make cool little container homes and stuff like that, where they build them on in their factory, and then they ship them to the person, and then in a couple hours that box unfolds and it's a house. So there's different ways of doing it. So what does this mean for you? Well, if you only have $500 right now and that's all you got, you're probably not gonna be able to do much land investing without a lot of sweat equity. So you probably have to do some things to find a property for very little or free, and hopefully you can sell it for a good profit. Now, if you don't have the skills to sell, that's going to be very difficult. That's okay. Those skills are learnable. Also, if you have about 1,000, you probably should be okay. You probably should be okay, but you're going to have to do things manually. Manually build your list. You might be able to use something like a prop stream since it's only $100, but because if you're brand new at this and you're going to do your first mailer, or you're going to send a text campaign, which is cheaper than mailer, that money goes down quickly, meaning you have less and less money to actually spend on, or invest in the property if you actually find someone willing to sell at a price that you can afford. So not only do you have to have a little bit more than you realize, you have to be prepared to put in the work to get better at the skills of negotiation, get better at the skills of research, of finding profitable areas where once you acquire the property, you're going to be able to sell it at a good rate. Because that's going to be the name of the game. The faster you can sell, the less you have to worry about the ROI. The less you have to worry about it, because even if you use up all your money to buy this property, all the expenses all said and done, if you sell that property in a week and you made your money back and then some, it's okay. You may not have tripled or quadrupled the money, but let's say you bought for $1,000, but 4 days later you sold for $1,500. That's in your pocket. Not a great ROI in terms of land investing, but I'm not sure how many places where you can quickly flip that 1,000 to 1,500 that fast, that easily, right? So you notice there's a difference. Now, if you're holding on to property longer and longer, this is when people try to sell it for more and more because they're trying to justify why they had this property for so long and get rid of all those fears and things like that. But yeah, you're gonna need at least $1,000 to really get started for a small infill lot, cheap lot. And the reason why is not because the lot is 1,000, it's because you have other expenses according to that. You also got to make sure you have money set aside for your expenses for the business. You got to set aside money for taxes if you're going to do this full time. And you got to make sure that if you're going to pay yourself, you're going to have to bring in a lot more money than what you think. You got to be able to get past that break even point, and you're just not just treading water. So how do you do that? Again, leveraging other people's money, use your leads to sell other things, and just get better at buying properties for cheap and selling for more. That's pretty much it right now. So look, hopefully this doesn't discourage you. Actually, I hope this does discourage you, because if this discourages you, then you probably weren't that interested in land investing anyway. You're interested in something to make quick cash. Well, you know what makes a lot quicker cash and probably a lot more of it? Selling drugs. If you want quick money, sell some drugs. If you want to make an actual business where you don't have to worry about it, and you don't mind learning some skills, land investing could be for you. All right, now I went through some numbers. If you need more specific numbers for you, I want you to do this. Go to your bank statements right now. Go, log into your online banking account. See how much you're spending every month. Or you can use an app like Mint. Mint is made by Intuit. They're the one that do tax stuff. You connect that app to your bank account or your credit cards and all that, and it kind of tracks your spending. So you can use something like that. But look to see how much you're spending every month. Right now, I'm not going to be here to tell you to stop drinking, buying lattes and shit like that. But what I am going to tell you is understand how much you bring in a month, how much debt that you're in, how do you want to service that debt, and that's going to be your baseline figure, right, of how much you need just to survive, at your current level. Then you're going to need money on top of that to purchase land, to run the business, and make sure every month you got enough coming in that runs the business and pays the money, pays the stuff you need to live your current life. And if you want to level up, not only do you got to spend some of your money, but you're going to have to find investors and be able to sell to other things. So you're creating money out of nothing. So no lead goes to waste. If you want to know more about that, let me know, because the reason why I'm a little bit all over the place is because I was doing a lot of calculations before this. I was actually fixing some other things. But in general, the money that you need is more than the couple of $100 for the property. You're going to need more than that. And if you're going to live off of this like I do, you're going to need a lot more than that until you pay off debts or whatever it is. All right. So I know I was all over the place. Hopefully this wasn't too confusing. If it was, please ask questions. I'm here to answer those questions. Please let me know whatever things on your mind, what topics you guys want to talk about. I'm here for it. So other than that, that's all I got for today. I got to get back to it. So we'll be talking soon. But it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure talking about this stuff. And hopefully you have a more clear understanding of the money you need to get into this business and why you need it. Other than that, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.